I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is who is the #1 welterweight in the division. Now that Terrence Crawford has got a notable victory over Showtime Sean Porter, he's the first fighter to stop Showtime Sean Porter. I'll turn it over to you, Conspiracy G. Who's the #1 welterweight in the division for you?
Well, I would have to say it's Earl Spence. Now I get it, you know, TC just won. He just beat Sean Porter. Kudos to him. However, he just, you know, in a way, he just put his foot in the water, right? Because prior to that fight, he was fighting at 147, but he was fighting dudes at my man Benavidez, who got shot in the leg, and it showed, you know, getting bold past his prime. You know, Special K wasn't that special at this time. So it's like, there's no disrespect to TC. It's just now, especially, and I'm excited to see how he does now that, or hopefully he goes to PBC, so we can compare him to the other guys, you know, at PBC, because those are where the real killers are. But as of right now, he beat a Sean Porter that now there's an argument was this a Sean Porter that was like going in there knowing that he was going to lose, you know? And so while on the other side, we have Spence, who's fighting guys that want to win, you know what I mean? And so I have to give it to Spence on this one over TC. Now, I guess the debate would be between who's #2. Is it Ugas or is it TC? You know, but as a #1, I have to say it's Spence, and I don't think it's really a debate, you know, unless people start talking about, you know, what Crawford has done at 140 and 135 and stuff like that. But I don't think that has any relevance at 147. So it definitely has to be Spence. Spence has fought the harder competition. Spence went to the UK to fight Special K and gave him that chocolate brownie. You know what I'm saying? Like, TC didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, TC got Special K, who showed up with some chocolate brownies, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's just a different type of guy in the division. And so, and this doesn't mean that I'm saying that Spence will beat TC. It just means that Spence is more accomplished in the welterweight division than TC. And so that's why I have Spence, you know, #1 above all of these guys. You know what I mean? Now, if Pacquiao was still around, I would probably make an argument that #1 is Pacquiao, but Pacquiao retired. So Spence got that by default.
All right, True Dollar Bill.
Let me check my Palm Pilot. Earl. You know what I'm saying? That's who I got. He got the better resume, right? He got more of the medal, right? Then it's a no-brainer for me.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it, I guess, as quick as can be from True Dollar Bill. Ned the TBE.
Man, I'm going to go Ugas. Even though I love Arrow, yo, but I'm going to go Ugas. Ugas beat the man with the bag. Beat the man with the name. Beat the man. He beat the man of the people. So Ugas is the man of the people now. And I know TC just came off of a phenomenal win. And Spence has come back for so much adversity. First the car accidents, now he got an eye injury that he's got to come back from, improve himself. But I'm just saying, Ugas has beat the more definitive champion. Definitive.
When the netables kick in, that's what you gonna caption that. When the netables kick in.
When the netables kick in, ain't no telling.
Ugas beat the more definitive champion. I say, you see, hey. Yeah, don't play with it. So I feel Ugas has more. He has done more has done more. I didn't even mess up. I just said
Give
more
my
than
man some
one.
water, man.
Ugas has done more than TC.
More.
Spence,
Milk.
Spence in the
Ness said, even
meantime.
if I stuttered, I was still.
Yeah. You got it. You got it. But yeah, I just feel Ugas has the better just has beaten the better champion recently than TC or a Spence. But Spence, once he bounced, I gotta see how Spence looks after this eye injury that he suffered, and that'll let me determine the next time these fighters fight.
So for me, number one, you have the only unified champion in the division, Earl Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. has victories over Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, and he has a victory with Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, and Showtime Sean Porter. And here's the thing about his victories over Kell Brook. He beat Kell Brook when he was champion. He beat Sean Porter when he was champion. So he beat them for belts. And so when you beat someone when they're champion, to me, that matters more. That's more impressive, let alone the fact that he did it first, which to me also makes it more impressive. See how those are objective standards. And so for that reason, I have Earl Spence at number one. To me, the more interesting debate is actually at number two. Number two between Yordenis Ugas and Terrence Bud Crawford, because Terrence Crawford just beat Showtime Sean Porter. But Showtime Sean Porter lost to Keith Thurman. However, Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman and took the belt from Keith Thurman. And Manny Pacquiao, after beating Keith Thurman, fought Yordenis Ugas. And Ugas took the fight on short notice. So Ugas fought the guy on short notice who beat Sean Porter. And although Ugas has a loss to Sean Porter, I'm willing to sit down with anyone and watch that fight with no sound and score it. And I dare people to make a case that Sean Porter won. Now, Sean Porter makes everyone look, and he makes every fight look a certain way. He makes it difficult, but I feel like, Ugas beat him. And, a majority of people I speak to who watched the fight left feeling the same way. So you have Ugas, who lost to Sean Porter but beat Manny Pacquiao. Okay, and now you have Terrence Crawford, who beat Sean Porter. But again, how great is that accomplishment when you have other people who've done it in comparison to Ugas, who just beat Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, albeit Manny was older, but it's still the same Manny who beat Keith Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use an objective standard. Who beat the better fighter at welterweight? Who has the best welterweight victory between Ugas and Terrence Crawford? Ugas. Ugas beat the guy who actually beat Sean Porter, right? Although he has a loss to Sean Porter, he beat Manny Pacquiao. He beat the Pac-Man. And to me, the Pac-Man is a better fighter than Sean Porter. And that's the standard that I'm going to use. And by that standard, to me, Terrence Crawford isn't even second in the welterweight division. He's third. So in the welterweight division, I have it rated Earl Spence number one, Yordenis Ugas number two, and then Terrence Crawford number three. Now, if you want to jump out the window on someone beating Showtime Sean Porter, you go right ahead. You do what you do. But again, TC can rectify this and fix this easily, and he can fight Ugas. If he fight Ugas and he beats Ugas, he will position himself to fight Earl Spence, and he'll position himself for 50-50 without any dispute. And he'd also prove that he really is an elite welterweight, because he would have unified in the welterweight division, something Earl Spence Jr. has done already. And he and Ugas probably need to do in order to really secure 50-50 in a fight with Earl Spence. So that's my take on it.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.